Hey everyone, welcome back to the B Studio. Today I'm here with a brand new video for you guys. We're going to be talking all about the newly released cover for Book 16 of Dive the Kid Big Shot. And we're just going to be discussing it and the story details that have been released for it, as well as just some questions I've gotten. It's great having you back. It's been a while, but how have you been doing?
Yeah, I've been doing good. I've just been really busy, but now since it's vacation for both of us, we can start making more videos together. So that's a bonus.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to it's just nice to be able to talk again. And I mean, I knew that the reveal would be happening soon, so I think it really is a perfect time to just jump in and just have some would be kid discussion because it really is like one of my favorite things to talk about. I mean, the channel, my name is Would Be Studio, so it's really originated from that. So
Yeah,
anytime there's news or anything, I mean, I get really excited. So like when this cover and title were released, I was very thrilled for many reasons. So yeah, this was released on Amazon before there was an official tweet. And I mean, I think I kind of questioned it for a second, like, is this real or not? Because I first saw it like Jeff Kinney was on Jeff Kinney made a post on Twitter, wasn't about the reveal, and someone commented a picture of like the actual cover. So thought I would go check it out online. Turned out that it was actually real. So, and then he made a tweet about it yesterday. So, I mean, personally,
yeah,
um, the title Big Shot was just kind of funny because I've been watching a show on Disney Plus titled Big Shot basketball show, but I think that the cover I think looks really cool. I think it's a completely new vibe, and I think Jeff Kinney even said it in that Boston Globe interview. He's never tackled sports before, so it's something completely brand new, and like it really has like that athletic vibe to it, like like athletic colors right here, um, and
yeah.
so overall, what did you think of this cover and title reveal?
So I think it's a good cover, and we before that cover of last year's book, The Deep End, came out. We already knew that book 16 was going to be about sports. At that time, we were anticipating the cover would be some kind of gold color or something like that, but it's obviously the color of a jersey, or it's a texture, and like it looks like that. So, it's really interesting, and it doesn't give much insight about the book, except for the fact that Greg's on a basketball hoop. So we know it's probably gonna be about basketball, but we really don't know anything else. Like Big Shot also tells us about basketball, but we don't know if he's gonna fail or succeed, or we don't know any of that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the summary was pretty vague. I mean, I think that you kind of have to give us like a vague summary because it's like a 220 page long book. So like we don't know what's going to happen from start to
Yeah,
finish. So it's interesting.
right.
Yeah.
So the summary of the book is: after a disastrous field day competition at school, Greg decides that when it comes to his athletic career, he's officially retired. But after his mom urges him to give sports one more chance, he reluctantly agrees to sign up for basketball. Tryouts are a mess, and Greg is sure he won't make the cut. But he unexpectedly lands a spot on the worst team. As Greg and his new teammates start the season, their chances of winning even a single game look slim. But in sports, anything can happen. When everything's on the line and the ball's in Greg's hands, will he rise to the occasion, or will he blow his big shot? So that gives us more insight than the cover, obviously. So we know he's gotten selected onto the basketball team. So we know that part of the we already know that part of the story.
Yeah. I think it's really sounding like last straw kind of vibe because we know that Greg's not really the most athletic person. And it definitely seems like we're getting like into that like this book. But what's interesting
Right.
here is that like Greg got on the worst soccer team in the last straw because like everyone gets separated and he got like the meanest coach or whatever. And that was just one of the focuses on the
Yeah.
last draw. But here it seems like they're fully diving into sports mode. And I mean, as long as it's like realistic, and I think it should be realistic because it's high school basketball, I guess is the point of it. And like from what we got from the deep end, I think
Well, middle school basketball.
middle school basketball. Well, unless I wrote something down about that, and then we could talk about that in a bit. But middle school basketball, I mean, I think what I do like about the idea is just a simpler vibe. I mean, it doesn't. The books don't have to be so far fetched like the deep end was, because in not saying that this won't be far fetched because
Right.
they might still have like those like factors of like really like weird stuff, but I think we something simpler I think sounds good, and I think they might really bring back the roots of what the original books were. But then again, like it's the original books weren't really about sports; it was just about Greg's life. But so my question for you is, do you think this is going to be a simpler vibe, or do you think it's still going to be really unrealistic?
Uh, I really can't tell at this point. Uh, I think Jeff Kinney had gotten the complaint from the meltdown and Wrecking Ball and the Deep End, and I and since it has a similar plot to the Last Straw, which came all the way back, it's one of the original books,
Mhm.
where things were more realistic and the books were, I guess, better. And if this has a similar plot, I'm assuming that he did take the complaint and he took the advice from the complaint and he's gonna do something with it. And I hope Big Shot is what he does with it and improves. But we'll only see. We'll see.
Yeah. And it's not like the Deep End and Wrecking Ball and Meltdown were bad books because they were still good books. I mean, all of his
Yeah, they
books,
were just unrealistic.
yeah. Well, the Deep End really got to that point. But I think it
Yeah.
looked like he's taking a step back, and I do like that idea. But I mean, I've watched middle school basketball games, and it seems, I don't know. I just have no idea how they're going to play it out in here. But um, I think when it comes to, will this go back to like actual like middle school stuff? I don't know. I mean, there's a chance to, because I also want them. An issue I have is that I want them to focus more on the characters surrounding Greg, because the thing is, it's not even just about Greg. That it's really focusing on the environment around like this family, like the Heffley family. Like it was really focusing on the road trip, but they didn't really act like a family in the deep end. So like I think what I want to see here is just more of a grounded thing and more like character interactions, because Riley's hardly been in it lately. But then again, they still don't have a home really. Like I mean, there's still like there's the whole like that whole thing, and I don't know how that'll like end up being like resolved like here, because as you remember, they got out of like town, they got out of the town in the first place, so they won't have to deal with living in their grandma's basement, so they still don't have a home. So I actually completely forgot about that, but I don't know, it feels like it's just a weird thing. Do you have any thoughts about that?
So yeah, so I thought the having a no home thing would be solved when I was reading Wrecking Ball. I thought, oh, it's going to be solved by the end of the book. Even though it was just a few pages left, I thought like, oh, okay, they're moving into a new home. That's what I thought the end of the story would be. But nothing happened.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay. And then it's definitely gonna get fixed in the next book. Okay, so the next book, yeah, they're living in their grandma's basement. Okay, I'm like, okay, this looks promising. They're probably gonna get into a home, and then I think they look for some homes, but then they're just gonna like some trip, and then by the end of the trip, the book's over, and they still don't have a house. So I think Jeff Kinney carried on Wrecking Ball, the story of Wrecking Ball too far, and I really hope it doesn't go through Big Shot as well. But speaking of this, a big thing that could happen is that Greg playing on the basketball team could earn the family some money to buy a new house. That's maybe one idea. I just came with that up on the spot, so that could be something that would happen. But we'll see.
I mean, that's a good idea. I don't know. I have no idea what his ideas are for this because I mean, we really won't get like much more like insight for a while, like several months. I mean, it's it's 5 months away. I feel like he's moved. What I do like about it now is that he's moved the release date up like a few weeks for the books. Now it's at the end of October, where it used to be kind of like early November. So I do like that about it. But yeah, I think that something I didn't really even think about. I just brought it up now was just the whole they don't have a home, and I don't think he's going to drag it out because it didn't need to like go into the deep end because I feel like that it was so unrealistic at the end of Wrecking Ball with like the hot tub crashing through their house that he probably didn't want to worry about that,
Yeah,
and that's why he set them on a trip for the deep end, so he wouldn't have to worry about like addressing that situation. But now he's going to have to. So I just don't know what he's going to come up with for that.
but yeah, if the no house thing carries on through a big shot, like all the way to the end, and it goes into the book 17 next year, then there's a chance that they're probably going to be homeless for the rest of the series. But that's probably not going to happen.
I don't know that it's interesting. It's interesting. So and then the cover as regards to like previous covers, like this one, it's really taking a different vibe because last one we kind of got like blue, like there was like blue and white kind of theme, very blue. And this one we have blue and yellow and gray. I mean, it's really like it's athletic shorts, basketball shorts as kind of just like uniforms. So I think it looks good. I mean, I'm interested to see if there'll be like a new texture, but it's whatever. I mean, I think it's a cool cover. They haven't done like a gray book yet. I mean, they've had like gray like in their like color scheme, like in Wrecking Ball, but like this is like the first time that they did like gray. But I think it looks like a pretty cool cover, probably one of their better covers. And they released like a
Yeah,
one more thing about the cover. They released like a few months ago. They released like a I'll put this in editing. They released like a picture of Greg in a basketball hoop, except it was green and gray like background, like so it was like a different thing. And I just assumed maybe it would be green and gray, but they use that same picture. They use that same picture, but they just changed like the colors, which I think still works. But yeah,
yeah,
overall looks good. I'm excited for it. Um, so I have a few questions here. Um, so my cousin asked, update on recent books, how they've been. Haven't really checked into the series for a few years. So we got Wrecking Ball in 2019, and then we also got Rally's books that have started. We got the original Rally Jefferson's Journal. We got Rally Jefferson's Awesome Friendly Adventure, and we got Rally Jefferson's Awesome Friendly Stories. And then we got Deep End, and now we're getting Big Shot. So, I mean, I think we kind of already summarized it. The story has kind of gone downhill a little bit, but I think that the series, like what really highlights everyone we get, I think that vibe is still there. I think that the power is still there. That gets us like we're not losing interest at all because we're still going to continue reading the books. So I think that in answer to your question, the books, if you're looking for something that's more like if you're looking for that middle school vibe that you got like earlier on, you're not really getting that here. I mean, we might get it like in Big Straw, but it's definitely changed some. And I think he might be running out of ideas a little bit, but I think that Quartz, he seems really hyped up for that storyline. So I think that if you're, I think, I think that series is going to strong, honestly, and I'm excited. It comes out, Big Shot comes out October 26th, 2021. So a few months, about 5 months away. So I think it's gonna be worth the wait because that's just the thing that I look forward to each year. So let's see. Um, will there be an age jump? Will Greg still be in middle school or will he be in high school? I mean, do you have any thoughts about that?
yeah. I can answer that. So to answer your question, Greg is going to be in middle school forever. That's just yeah. He's he's I mean, some I think I saw one video where this guy kind of took all of the storylines of all the Wimpy Kid books, and he calculated that Greg in the first book was in sixth grade, second book was in seventh grade, and then third book was in eighth grade. Then in the fourth book, he was in eighth grade summer. Then in his fifth book, he went back to sixth grade, and then it was just a repeating cycle like that.
That,
So that's what he calculated. I'm not sure if that's true because after after the last draw, we've or after dog days really we really haven't heard Greg say I'm in this grade because nothing's been definite since then. He's just been somewhere in middle school. We don't know what he's doing, but
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point what you're saying. I mean, it's obviously he's going to be in middle school forever. I mean, we have no idea because I feel like we haven't gotten him in school for so many books. I have no idea what grade he's supposed to be in now, but I think he has to be in middle school forever because I just don't. I mean, it's not that like there's a big change between middle school and high school. I mean, I'm going in the high school in the fall, but like, I mean, and plus, like, you got Greg like has to stay like in the worst school era if we're gonna make it interesting at all. I mean, sure, it doesn't highlight middle school like the vibe of it that much, but he's got to stay in it. I mean, at this point, I guess I'm technically older than Greg. I don't. It's kind of weird to think about because I don't know how old he's supposed to be. But um, any new or returning?
yeah. They don't even talk about the year, the age. They don't like
Mhm.
the setting of the story is not apparent, but there's just the story without. There's a place, but we don't know where that place is. We don't know when it is, or we don't know anything like that. We only know that there is a place and you can go to this place from this other place where they live. So we don't know it. We don't know anything else than that.
Well, and I think that I mean we don't really need it necessarily because it's Greg's life. It's the Heffley's life, but I don't know. But I get what you're saying there. New slash
Yeah,
returning characters. I mean, I'm all for like seeing Rally more because we don't the vacation books we don't get any with Rally, which I guess is fine. But like he's obviously not going to be a part of those.
yeah.
Um, I think I just would have. We really haven't gotten any Roderick. I mean, I kind of just miss him. Like, sure, he has his occasional moments, but I just want to see. I feel like we're missing like the characters that we thought meant a lot to Greg. I just feel like, and I just think that just because of the weird direction that the series has taken us,
Yeah,
just
we don't really see them anymore.
yeah, we don't see Rally. We don't see Roderick really. I don't know. It's just I'm hoping that if they actually go like back to middle school vibe, that maybe we'll get to see more Rally, or maybe we'll get to see more of just But returning characters, I mean, I always kind of wish like well like I mean I always kind of wish, not really wish, but like, will someone like Holly Hills come back, or will someone like Shirag Gupta come back? I mean, I sometimes I question will those characters ever return. I mean, Fregley is probably the most likely chance to return because he was mentioned a few books back, but I don't know because I feel like at this point, I don't if they I mean, I think eventually Greg will get a girlfriend. I think that eventually they'll explore that, but there's also a chance that Greg is just going to be lonely. But I really can't just don't see those characters coming back unless they really wanted to do a fresh start, like like something completely new. But do you think there's a chance of any of those characters coming back?
You know what? I actually disagree. I think there is a chance of them coming back, and I think it could happen in this book. Uh, Jeff Kenny's whole perspective on this book was about sports, and he's already made another book about sports. And if he looks, he's obviously going to base this book off of the book that we've already had, right? So I think looking at that book, he might bring back some of the characters, and I think that might be a plus.
Yeah, because characters like Shirag or Holly really added some I think really grounded Greg a little bit, made Greg like a little more likable because lately Greg hasn't really been likable. I think that's the point. He's just like an average middle schooler. Like he's not special. Or I mean,
Yeah.
his mom tries to convince that he's special in some way, but I think having those characters just makes Greg more interesting. I mean, and I think even just with Raleigh or Roderick, but lately Greg's just hasn't really interested me, and I think that Jeff Kinney probably doesn't think Greg doesn't need to interest us, especially because, like I said earlier, it's really focusing more on the environment of where these people are in, less about the characters. So I don't know. That'll be interesting, but let's see. Safety patrols, if they're going middle school route, I don't
Yeah.
see a reason why they shouldn't come back.
I mean, they were there in the first book. Then they only came back in the meltdown, so that's already a big jump. Um, and then they weren't seen again. So they might come back because this book is going to be more school focused, right? If we think about it, right, after let's say after Double Down, really, Double Down was the last book that was like primarily focused on middle school, and you could even say that you could even say Hard Luck was, because um again obviously a long haul was it, and Old School was more about camping, and Double Down was it was more about making that movie. It still included Greg's school life, but it wasn't like it wasn't just like a day in the life of Greg. Obviously, all the books have like some kind of special event happening to make it into a book, but Double Down just had too much of the special effects, and it really didn't focus on Greg's regular life too much. So I don't think Double Down would be considered as like a basic middle school book. And then obviously the getaway, they went on the whole resort thing. I don't even think that included school. And the meltdown, yeah, the meltdown was kind of a school book, but again, it was mostly about the winter fights and all of that stuff. And then Wrecking Ball, same thing, except with the house breaking down. And then the deep end was just on a trip. So this is really the first book since since Hard Luck that's primarily focused on school. And you might just say that, oh, okay, well, what about the basketball being an exception? But this is in school, so this could open up a whole world of possibilities um, of the characters coming back or safety patrols. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance of. I mean, I just think I want to see something a little bit more grounded, something more realistic. I think that for like hardcore Dive With Kid fans, I think we want that. Just something we can relate to, sort of, because the Deep End was not really relatable. I think that's the point. I think some people really liked the dramatic, and some people just it kind of went too far from because I've seen a lot of different videos about it because the deep end really was the most controversy I think that they've gotten when it comes to this. And I see a lot of like some negative
right,
I see some negative things on Twitter about uh this new book. I don't know why. I just see things like how's the series still going or like
the
you
deep end
know
or Big Shot.
huh
Like, did you see them on the deep end or a Big Shot?
I saw some things on Deep End and I saw some things on Big Shot too because I think that people I mean maybe they weren't being legit, but I just saw some things like they retweeted like the cover and they said like how is the series still going and just some weird things and I don't know. I mean, if you go to his page,
I mean, yeah, that's that because for most of the people, this they were reading the books when they were kids, and those people are probably adults right now, so they're probably still like just surprised that the series is still going. I don't think they really meant it in a negative way, but again, some people just mean everything in a negative way. But
hmm
then, uh, again, on the other hand, the deep end, if you took away the Diary from Kid, if you took away the whole Diary from Kid vibe from the book and just replaced Greg with some kid and the everything with some other kids, then it would be a pretty good book, right? It has all the drama, it has all the suspense and all of that. But since it's a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, the reason that most of these fans started reading the books is because they read one, it was relatable, they liked it, and then they kept more and rereading, and that's why they liked it. But now this book comes along, and it's not like any of the other books we've seen. It's not a bad book in any means, but it's just not what we've been seeing before. That's basically the issue that some people were having. Personally, I don't think that's an issue, but to
Mhm.
others it may be.
Yeah, I think maybe they were more just like
But Big Shot, what?
they were more like the show is still going because they probably like they like just kind of grew up and like they kind of like left like this franchise. So I think it could have been laughing, but I don't know. I think it seemed a little bit negative. Some of the comments I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of all I think that's kind of all. I think we covered a lot of good stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to do a few more things this summer. Not sure what about, but we do know that book 16 is coming out in October, and we know that there's an upcoming animated movie coming to Disney Plus that was revealed a little while ago, like about last Christmas. I don't know when it's coming, but I think we'll just have to wait and see about that. But anything else you want to say before we leave?
Yeah, about the animated movie. Um, when I first heard about it, I assumed it would be like those intros in the beginning of the current Dare Wimpy movies with like the characters that we see them as they are in the book. They're just being animated. But the the ones in the movie, the animated movie, they're apparently going to be some like 3D characters. And I'll put a picture of them here on the screen if you guys want to see that. But it, they kind of look weird. I don't know, but we'll see if they be used or not. But if they are being used, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. But I'd prefer they use the 2D ones that are in the books because that's what people would want more.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to. I don't know what they're going to do with it because I think I'm down for any content for Dr. McKen. I mean, I'm sure it's still going to be good, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good point because I feel like we want to see like we want to see like what they showed in the intro of the movies, like them like kind of like playing out like the scenarios that happen in the book, and then like turning into like the live action style. And now that's going to be totally animated. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would rather have 2D or 3D. I mean, probably what we already get because I think that 2D just looks better at in like these kind of things, but I don't know. 3D could look good too, so I don't know. Just don't have much to base it on. Okay. So, yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be back to in a few we'll try to maybe do once a month kind of things, but yeah. So anyways, you can go check out Akshay's channel. I'll put in the link down below. Real time fun. He does some tech videos and he does some Whoopie Kid videos there too. So anyways, thanks everyone for watching B Studio. Yeah, again, make sure to check out his channel in the link below. So anyways, thanks everyone for watching and bye.